Hi everyone, I'm Eric,
And I'm Christopher.
and we're Grow For Me Gardening. Today is our full April garden tour. Well, you know what they say, April showers bring May flowers, and here we are at the beginning of our April garden tour, and it's raining, which as gardeners, you know we love. So welcome to our Zone 5B/6A garden in upstate New York, and what better place to start with an update to the front door where we welcome everybody into our home. I have recently completed painting the front door Evergreen Fog from Sherwin-Williams. And then I painted a complementary color, Rosemary. So these containers are completely covered, but inside are 5-gallon buckets that I cut the top off of. And so I can take the buckets in and out for changing over plants and stuff and not worry about getting soil and getting this all dirty. And I can also, if I happen to have time during the day, take them out front, water them up, let them kind of dry out, and put them back. And then I'm really loving the structure of these obelisks, right? And I love that they match. These, I'm not quite sure what we'll replace them with for the summer because it's pretty much a full shade area, but they're doing really, really well here. These in our Amazon store, and they are killer cute. Highly recommend them. And then down front are our head planters that our nieces helped us plant with our pansies in them. Alas, no blooms yet. Very surprised by that. Let's keep going around the front containers. We recently removed the denim and lace Russian sage, and that's because we are going to be adding a third large container here, and it's going to be Campania International Urbino in black, and then we're going to have two more here flanking the garage door like these. These are the larger size obelisks. You can see we've repeated the daffodils. They're on their way out. These were a little bit older. Pansies down front. North Pole arborvitaes in the center that are going to be transplanted once these containers switch over. These two containers match the door. Which way do you want to go, Christopher?
Why don't we go on the west side? I feel like there's a lot of change.
There has been a lot of change, starting with our Jane Magnolia, which just passed peak blooming, and now it's kind of doing its faded bloom thing. But I really love this small tree, large shrub it's going to become.
It's going to be a large tree. There will be
All
no
right.
shrub involved in this one.
Over here, you can see we've removed sod, and I've already got two of the North Pole arborvitaes planted. The ones from the center of the pot, one of them is going to go kind of right here, and then we'll have this little trio. This is a Blue Point juniper, and then here is going to go a green screen arborvitae, which is a new introduction from Isley coming out this fall. But they're sending them to us early so we can kind of give them some feedback on how they grow their first season in the ground. To my left, we have our hedge of Walker's Low Catmint that's really coming alive, really waking up. Our winter gem boxwoods all got pruned up. Christopher did an amazing job on
Why,
them.
thank you.
Gabriel Oak is putting on some new growth. We've got alliums popping up. Look at all the new growth and swollen buds on the Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas. Do you remember when we were pruning our panicle hydrangeas in our How to Prune Panicle Hydrangeas video? We had come across some that the branches were laying on the ground, and over the fall and winter they rooted in. Well, we cut them, put them into potting soil in the basement, let them grow on a little bit, and now they're planted out in the garden already. That's how quick they grow, and we'll get to those in a moment. Peonies, this one got transplanted, looks not so happy about the transplant.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that one's going to be making it too much longer.
That's okay, though. Weeping Norway spruce. This is the kind of weeper that as long as you stake it, it'll grow straight. But as soon as we stop staking it, it's going to fall over. So I'm not quite sure what height we're going to let it get to.
Oh, I'm going to let it get to as high as I can get it. And then once that trunk is hardened off, we can allow it to
Start weeping?
start weeping.
We should have like a big arch and it can start laying down onto the arch.
Exactly. We'll have to do some creative bending of rebar to keep it in, keep it shaped.
Look how great these Let's Dance Can Do hydrangeas look.
Of all the hydrangeas in our entire garden in terms of macrophylla, these came through the winter so well.
Really good.
You can see that there's beautiful growth all the way up the stems. Our other macrophylla and serratas, not so much, but these are really going for it.
Also, before we go any further, I need to let everybody know we are not mulched yet. So we use compost for mulch. So as you come through the garden with us, you're going to see lots of dirt, lots of rocks.
Lots of exposed drip line.
So keep in mind, like, it's got to get real ugly before it gets real pretty. And right now, we're at the real ugly part in the garden. So as we continue, bear in mind, we're a work in progress.
Behind our very successful Let's Dance can-do hydrangeas, you'll notice some grow bags with roses sticking out of them. Earlier this year, we were fortunate enough to try out some bare root roses. And when you receive bare root roses, it's best to get them rehydrated and in the ground pretty quickly. But in this case, it was way too early in the season. So thankfully, Eric's parents had grow bags on hand that we did not actually own. And after rehydrating the roses, and they came in bundles of 10, so I will tell you, it looked like I got into a fight with a whole herd of cats after this day was done. I popped them into the grow bags with some soil and compost, just loosely to cover them up, and things are looking beautiful. These two right here are actually Rise Up Lilac Days, which is going to be the thriller in our front containers. And yes, the containers are going to be big enough to hold 3 bare root roses and go as tall as they want to go. We have done some planting recently with those roses that we're going to be sharing with you maybe in a couple days. So if you notice us maybe glaze over a little bit of something in the garden today, that would be why. Continuing on, we have a Limelight Prime, which is doing beautiful. This is what panicles look like for us this time of year. Lovely color coming on the Shiloh Splash River Birch. This is Yuki Snowflake Deutzia, which thus far has not been attacked by bunnies this year. So we have buds and we're going to have these beautiful white flowers. Hollywood Juniper. This spent a lot of the winter kind of face first on the ground, unfortunately. It's a really tough place to plant, so it's now staked well. And fingers crossed, it roots in. We can take the stake off and just let it get that kind of wild form that they like to take on. This is a white pillar Rose of Sharon. Lovely little nodes starting to swell here. We know this is on the late side for coming out of dormancy in our area. I think in general, Rose of Sharon, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything that blooms in late summer, like panicles and Rose of Sharon and butterfly bush and hibiscus, are all going to come out later.
Yeah, so that's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see what that does. Apparently they can get 14 feet high. Behind that is a newly exposed to the world sorbet peony, which has been here growing beautiful for a few years, but every year it got completely covered by this now missing forsythia. This forsythia had just overstayed its welcome. It's a beautiful shrub. We love the yellow in the springtime, but it was not serving us the rest of the year, and we had to coppice it a lot because it just kind of grew all over the place. This will be replaced by another Isley nursery tree that I can't wait to show you. I believe it's coming in the next week or two. I cannot wait. That's going to be so cool, especially because of the beautiful contrast it will have with this guy, the Vanderwolf pine. When I think about how big this was when we found it in a ball and burlap planting, but also in a container, completely root bound.
Yeah, I think it was like a 5-gallon.
It was not big, and it has done nothing but look beautiful. It is the huggable pine. You can run right up and squeeze it. Nothing's going to poke you.
And it's already starting to candle, which I'm shocked.
It is starting to candle. Yep, here's our little guys right here. I'm wondering if we might need to just trim this section here so that this doesn't go into the walkway.
Wait, Christopher, I also have to call you out. Are you not going to tell everybody what tree it is? Because I think we've mentioned it before.
We have mentioned it. It is a wabi-sabi Japanese maple that is coming from Isley.
So right here on this square Essex trellis, which is from Gardener's Supply Company, we have Claire Austin Rose. This is David Austin Rose. It has been pruned down quite hard. So I think it's going to come back really strong this season. Right behind it is a purple obelisk beech. I love beech trees. This is going to stay very narrow. Some purple Chablis
Purple
lamium.
Chablis.
And this is a really cool evergreen. It's an Ember Waves arborvitae, and you can just see it really gives that bright gold color to this border, which I think this border really needs that pop of chartreuse. Another Deutzia right back here. There were only 2 on sale that day that we went, and we don't like to plant in pairs, so instead of planting them next to each other, we just separated them and made them one-offs. So there's the Deutzia and a traditional French lilac.
Due to bloom soon.
I know. I'm really happy with how this is growing. I mean, I try to prune it, keep it very architectural, not let it get out of control. Underneath that is Neptune catmint, which is totally different than Walker's Low catmint. It's kind of more like an Agastaki vibe, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy with it. I love catmint in general, any kind of catmint, and this is just a really unique variety. Again, it's Neptune catmint. Speaking of unique, we have this really cute blue feathers bald cypress.
Hinoki cypress.
Blue feathers Hinoki cypress. I don't even know why I said bald cypress. That's a tree.
That's a tree. And also, that's not bald.
Not even close. 2 Ito peonies. This is the Barcella variety. Kind of unique for us to have a yellow and red variety, but they were both gifted to us by my mother. Planted in between them for some strange reason, but I kind of like it, is a Wine and Roses Weigela. Speaking of 2 plants planted together, we have 2 random Senum that we kind of either have to divide and make it an odd number or remove altogether. I don't know. This area that we're starting to enter is getting the most reworked over the next month. We have recently moved our ellipsis sculpture from the east side, over here to the west side, and that's because we extended the bed in front of the Tromnar, and we have another piece of concrete. Is it concrete? It's cast
concrete.
Stone going in that area, and we didn't want too many structures there, and this area kind of needed something to ground it. At the back of this border, we have a trio of Emily Bronte roses. Emily Bronte on the website says it gets about 3 to 4 feet tall, right, Christopher?
Yes.
Our Emily Brontes get about 6 to 8 feet tall. They are enormous. Another random peony that got planted, but looks pretty cute here. This is Morning Light Miscanthus back there, a Parkland pillar birch. Recently planted was this clematis. Very pretty.
The Vagabond.
The Vagabond, with a grouping of hellebores underneath it. I think that color contrast is going to be really nice. The texture contrast is also very nice, and it'll help shade the roots of the clematis, because clematis like their roots shaded, but their face in the sun. A grouping of roses we're going to skip over for now. And a trio right here of pufferfish hydrangeas that were just planted in the fall. They get about 4 feet tall and maybe 3 feet wide. And they have enormous white blooms for the size of the shrub. And they're called pufferfish because they get this extra little, like, I almost said
floret.
spit of bloom. It's this extra little, like, floret of flowers that stick out the end. This is a Carolina Sweetheart Redbud that was just planted last spring. So it's exactly a year old at this point. You can see we've got some drip stuff happening here. Another boxwood Walker's Low catmint flanks each side of this entryway. It's my go-to favorite perennial. This is it's a Weigela. It's got wine, but it's not Wine and Roses. Maybe it's Midnight Wine Shine.
It is.
All right, Midnight Wine Shine. We did install new hoses. We have upgraded our hoses to Vigo hoses. They are 100-foot high flow retractable hose. Previously, we had 100-foot hoses from Costco, which we really liked, but they were not high flow. So this has been a nice upgrade, and we just kind of mounted them on the posts there. This Sarcocoa bloomed for us and is doing a really nice job putting on new growth, but it's supposed to be deer resistant, but something did come along and nibble the tops. So I'm not quite certain about that.
But it was beautifully evergreen for us. I can't wait to see that fill out a little bit.
I did just sprinkle it with some Hollytone because it prefers acidic soil, and it does like moist soil. Morning Light Miscanthus again. Our Lavender Mist Meadow Ruse are all coming up. I've staked them with the Jardin stakes. These are again from Gardener Supply Company. Really pretty way to stake your plants. If you're looking for ornamental garden stakes, they're really pretty. The hellebores are in heaven right now. The oak leaf hydrangeas are starting to push growth. Our Sun King Aurelia is still sleeping, which it should be. That's another late riser to the party, or late arrival to the party. These are our geraniums. They are purple.
New Hampshire purple.
New Hampshire purple geraniums. Our Brunnera is flowering. It's funny because the Brunnera leaves start so small in the season, and then once it's done flowering, it's all about the foliage. Underneath this Bloodgood Japanese maple, there's a bunch of new hellebores that Clara Joyce Flower Farm sent us. And I can't name the varieties off the top of my head, but I did bury the tag next to them in case one day we want to like really get in there and figure out the variety. But I know, because I looked them all up, that they are all really, really pretty and they arrived in perfect condition. And the hostas are also looking great. So I think our shade garden is off to a really nice start for April.
Check out how cool this trellis came out. This is actually 3 trellises that we picked up at the orange store. They're zip tied together to make them look like one giant piece. And as they're going in the ground, we hook them on to these vinyl fence or hooks that these are a game changer. We found out that we couldn't actually drill into the post to create like a horizontal wire, because when you do that, you void the warranty on your fence, and we don't want any of that happening. So it was the perfect solution to begin training Woolerton Old Hall. This David Austin climber has a gorgeous, gorgeous color to it. And I think this one going vertical, and then we have these other 3 canes going this way. So we'll get lots and lots of lateral branching. Based on the size this rose can get, we may be having to put a second one of these over here in time. I believe these can get 11 to 12 feet long.
Wow.
And this is an 8-foot fence section. So let's go. That'll be fantastic. Little sprinter boxwood. This is an emerald green arborvitae doing beautifully well. And all 15 wonderful limelight hydrangeas just starting to put out a little bit of their greenery. So why don't we continue over on this side here? We are looking at wonderful daffodils in the backyard. I haven't really done daffodils in the front at all. Sometimes I think I'm just going to start doing tulips as an annual. There are quite a few on this side. The small yellow with the orange trumpet, that's going to be your Jetfire. Highly, highly suggest lots of Jetfires. The really, really tiny yellow, that being a tete-a-tete daffodil. They're so precious and cute. But I think the Jetfire, it's a nice mix of, they're still a mini daffodil, but they've got some good impact. We have Tahiti daffodil. This one I'm really excited about. Eric has pointed this out quite a few times. We also have this daffodil and this daffodil, whose names I'm Fortune and something. I can't remember, but I'm going to put those up on the screen for you. I'm very happy. I like this little cluster here. And once this foliage is gone and this drip is out of the way, it'll make wonderful way for Little Lime Punch hydrangea. Here is a bunch of
Pink Potion.
Pink Purple Profusion.
Is it Purple Profusion?
It is Purple Profusion.
Oh,
yes.
Whoops.
Really, really nice salvia. We did some dividing and moved them over here from the other side of the house because they had run out of sunlight there. This, very eye-catching, absolutely gorgeous. Possibly my favorite tree on the property is the Diana Contorted Larch. It actually has the most adorable cone, or larch cones. I like a little larch cone. They're beautiful. Behind that is a trio of Winterberry Gold, Berry Heavy Gold Winterberry. These are, they're a wonderful native winterberry, but they have gold berries. Let me skip a few things quick. Is Mr. Poppins. This is the gentleman male variety of winterberry whose blooms will pollinate and give us those gold berries. I'm standing right behind the purple pillar Rose of Sharon that has done pretty well. I can't wait to see this one too. Again, it can get up to 14 feet high, giving us beautiful, beautiful purple color very late in the season. Illuminati arch or tower? Tower.
Tower. I'm only guessing that based on the growth
The
habit,
growth.
which has been trimmed by deer last fall. So that's why it's kind of that shape.
But you know what? I see buds. It's
Good.
all happening for us this year. It's a big year for us, everybody. Behind these daffodils, these are some spilled wine weigela. These got transplanted. Worst time of the year to do it. Terrible time. There's a very good chance there's a lot of dead wood in here, but there's growth on all of them. They seem happy overall. So we're going to let that continue going and see how they shine. Little tater tot arborvitae friend in there. Here we have Eustacia Vi, David Austin shrub rose.
Wait. What are these daffodils you're just glazing over?
These are Tahiti.
Those are Tahiti too?
That's Tahiti, yes. The ones that are
I really like the Tahiti.
This is a sting arborvitae. This will be a 1 foot diameter, or not 1 foot diameter, right?
Yes,
1 foot diameter, and it will go straight up. Very similar to an Italian cypress, something we can't grow, but anyone who's been to Italy knows Italian cypress are a win for the garden. Pink mint clematis. I'm very excited to see this. Very, very full, beautiful little pink flowers, but the plant itself should fill up this entire obelisk. This is the Essex. This is just the Essex
obelisk.
Regular obelisk. Yep. Is there one more piece that's missing, Eric?
We can make that taller, yes.
We can make this one taller. Yep. Okay.
We can make it 7 feet, I think.
Yes. And you'll notice in here, there is a black chicken wire. You might not have noticed it till I pointed it out. At least that's the hope. This is a silicone coated chicken wire that's 18 inches tall and it's a 150 foot roll. I found it on the Lowe's website. They didn't have it in the store, but we ordered it in. And this is to protect things that bunnies have gone after in a very invisible way, but still pretty well protected. Down here is some bee balm that's spreading nicely. This may have been leading lady pink.
It was a proven winner's variety that stays a little bit shorter, and it is pink.
It is pink. Okay, I'll check that one out too. Here we have lemon jade sedum. Some of these we've actually never seen get taller than this. These have also been a favorite of the deer, but they were in a different location with less around them. So I'm hoping to see these really fill out and give us a little chartreuse action. Sugar Shack buttonbush, another plant that was late to leaf out last year. We really thought we'd lost it, but
remember it leafed out really late, and then that late frost came. And then we thought it was gone. But it's a hardy shrub. It came right back beautifully.
It was a doozy, but this is going to be really nice. And you can tell we have planned well for this to grow to its full potential size. It's a really nice large shrub in the garden. This is a Cheyenne Sky panicum. We'll see what it does. This got transplanted. Fingers crossed. It'll be really nice to have that grassy texture here. Below me is what I believe to be a Cora Louise Ito peony. It might be a Julia Rose Ito peony. There's a theme with peonies in this garden. I add them and I forget what they are. So that's fine. Over here is Parfuma Earth Angel Rose. I'm not sure who it's by. Beautiful, beautiful color. So this will be the first time we get to really see it in its glory. There's some Candy Mountain foxglove that are loving their life. They really did a number of, they grew lots of little baby plants all around. And they're underneath the Prairie Fire crab apple. Crab apples really do have a weird growth habit with some of these like weird horizontals in there.
Right here, you may have noticed a completely empty space. This is the area that's been carved out for the Dahlia seedlings that Christopher is growing in the basement greenhouse.
Oh, speaking of the basement greenhouse.
It's the basement greenhouse.
Come on in, everybody. So this is where the magic is happening right now. You can see we have lots and lots of beautiful things growing.
It is toasty in here.
It is, and I actually opened up 2 of the little screen doors to make sure that there's a little more airflow in here. The Impala castor beans are starting to show some color.
Wow.
That's really good. These actually need some water. These are 51 petite floret dahlias. It's the seed from one of the floret originals. I'm so excited to see how these grow. Every single one of these should be completely different from each other. This is some Verbena bonariensis that we have started for a wonderful friend, and she's going to be doing a bit of a butterfly garden. So we added
Well,
that
she'll definitely have them with that.
Yes. Another floret original. This is Alpenglow zinnia. Really, really pretty. I cannot wait to see what these look like en masse. This here is Moonlight Marigold. These are so ready to come
Oh
out.
my gosh.
That I am watering this like a gallon a day. It is a lot.
Gallon?
At least a gallon, or whatever fills up the tray. It drinks every single day. These are 5 beautiful, perfect hollyhocks. These are the Champagne Majorette.
I love those.
This is the Tall Blue Planet Ageratum. I had to give a little more breathing room down here. We have parsley, rosemary, oregano that's popping out of here. Look how beautiful that is. It smells so good. Lovely. This is 4 hot and heavy peppers. This is the Fairy Tale Eggplant, which I think is going to be my favorite thing in the raised beds this year. Here are 2 Jackby Little Pumpkins doing their thing, and 5 plants of cypress vine. So that's going to look really cool. Down here, there is 1 Kelgai bare root coming up. Nope, here it is right there. You can just barely see it. So we'll have these 2 plants. These were sent to us by Darcy's Dahlias. Thanks a lot for those. Grocery store basil, just in case we need some. Have that on hand. But as you can see, I started the tomatoes.
Too early.
I went with the packet. I have pinched them, so they're healthy, they're happy. I repotted them up to a gallon size, but I've moved this shelf from this height to here. Every single day I have to move it. So when we're finished today, I'm going to be raising the shelf one more time, but I think we're going to have to start hardening these.
Yeah, we just got to start hardening them off.
Over here, we have, well, nothing on this tray at the moment. This is the zinnias that we harvested last year.
Our own seeds.
Yep, the Grow For Me gardening mix. We'll see what those come up with. And this is Pesto Besto Basil, also looking really good. So that's what we have growing from seed. Here are some houseplants Eric brought home from the office.
Those are from my desk at my work, and they need to be up potted.
Yes, they'll be
starting
up
to show
potted
signs
soon.
of stress.
Yeah, we'll get those up potted once we have some indoor plant stuff.
Frederick, what you doing down there?
Oh, he comes in
he
here.
loves to nibble that fern.
He loves to nibble a fern. So I spin it, and it makes him not want to do it. But these are going to go hopefully in our front containers. That's it.
Those dahlia seedlings are all going in this area. To my right is a paperbark maple. It's really cute. It's already doing the paperbark maple thing. Coming along this way, we have another sting arborvitae being repeated here. Walker's Low Catman is underneath this bird bath from Christopher's grandmother. This is our shadblow, which is almost blooming. These are the artisan. Ooh, they've been frost damaged. Look.
Oh, they did?
All the tips got damaged by the last frost. That's too bad. What are these called again?
These are double play artisan spirea.
Double play artisan spirea. Japanese white pine behind it. Up here on the edge, behind these beautiful daffodils, is a trio of tiny quickfire panicle hydrangeas, the smallest panicle hydrangea available on the market. And they're supposed to bloom earlier than most, but they say really, really small, which is why they're right here on the edge of the entrance to our patio. Underneath this Jardin bird cage. This is the 36-inch version. So if you look at the website and you're wondering what size comparison it is, this is the 36-inch one. It's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, these are the Stand By Me lavender clematis. Sprinter boxwood, but behind the sprinter boxwood and between the clematis is a trio, like a swoop, of the Flavorette honey apricot roses. They've really put on a ton of growth. They're looking really nice for this time of year. A really cool mini hedge of Invincible lace hydrangea. So this is a smooth leaf hydrangea that blooms on new wood, also just planted in the fall. Right behind us, you may have noticed that these arches appear a little bit taller. We have added the new arch extensions to them. This is a 2x8 cedar bed from Gardener Supply. And I don't know if you know this or not, but we have our own shop on Gardener Supply now, and we'll put a link in our description. It's the Grow For Me Gardening shop on gardeners.com, which is really cool. And it has all of the things that we have in our garden all curated in one spot for you to shop for them, which I thought was pretty awesome. Elevated bed 2x8 filled with Coast of Maine potting mix and raised bed mix mixed together. Now, this is the 24-inch Jardin bird cage. So you can see how much smaller it is in the 2x2 elevated planter box. Pivoting trellis to grow vining things or tomatoes up on it. 2x4 size, another 2x4, and it just kind of repeats itself there. Coming on up to the terrace, you can see that we've got our furniture out, but we haven't put our cushions out because rain was in the forecast.
Yes.
Bonfire Patio Peach has passed its peak bloom, and I saw lots of pollinators on it, so I know we're going to be getting some fruit. We're kind of organizing the containers to get them ready for the season. These are the Tusco planters. There's 24-inch, 18-inch, and
15 and 13.
13-inch. Our Moffat Blue Juniper is doing great. We're probably going to have to trim it up. Underneath here, I mean, I'll just show you kind of our covered part so that I can put the umbrella
Look,
to
there
the
is
side.
his face.
But our hanging baskets, I gave them a fresh coat of paint to get them ready for the season.
Sprinter boxwood. Walker's Low Catman. Definitely a theme we have, right, guys? This little trio here, this is the Ancient Mariner by David Austin. It is the shrub rose that has given us, I mean, more enjoyment than any other rose on our property, far and away. It is absolutely gorgeous. It smells beautiful, and it just keeps giving and giving. Really, really love that. Our hedge of the new Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangea. They are in a bit of a shock after the 28-degree night we had a couple days ago. They were swelling. They were putting out a little bit of green. They're a little pushed back right now, but it is, again, still early. You can see that we've added some more Serendipity allium to the center of the bed just as a nice little filler. There are 3 Quickfire Fab hydrangea. Probably one of my favorite panicle hydrangeas that's on the newer side. Really, really great color, huge blooms, love, love, love. This trellis, this Essex trellis, you can see has another clematis. This is Still Waters, again with the little cage underneath, doing very well. If you want to swing around, Eric, I'll show you. This here is a lovely drift of 7 reminiscent pink roses. This rose was by far the healthiest coming out of the winter. It had the least dieback. It had the strongest growth. I'm really excited to see how these do. Midnight Masquerade Penstemon here in the center of the bed. Love that dark foliage accent. The spacing is a little bit funky on these, but honestly, they grow so big that
they're supposed to get really wide.
They really will get wide. So this should become a nice kind of step down from the giant hydrangeas in time.
Yeah, those hydrangeas are supposed to be like an epic centerpiece of this space once they get to full size.
It's so funny planning those kinds of things when you know this is going to be so big. Here, nice and caged, are the Snowfire Aronia. Yes, there's another name in there, and it's eluding me at the moment. Lowscape. We have buds. We are going to get flowers, which means we might get berries. I love these, and so do every single creature that visits our garden. So we almost considered removing them, but I'm giving them another chance at life using the chicken wire. I don't care. Midnight Sun Weigela. It's funny how they come out green, but this will be that beautiful red foliage accent. Steady Eddie Viburnum. Love, 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 love these. They produce flowers near constantly once they get going. The tall tree here at the end of the bed. This is a green gable tupelo or black gum tree. This should make some gains this year in terms of height. Below that are some foxgloves that are from last year. So these are the ones that reseeded themselves to create new ones. They're Sutton's apricot. We have Boscabel, a rose from David Austin. There's a little trio here. Fingers crossed they come back so nicely. And I just keep standing right next to this grass. Eldorado calamagrostis, similar to like a Carl Forrester kind of grass that everybody knows. Eldorado has green and yellow variegation.
We needed that sharp pop of color in this space and the texture.
And I think it's actually going to play well with this sensation honeysuckle that we have planted on the Jardin Tower. This is the biggest trellis obelisk that we had ever seen, and it is gonna be perfect. I can't wait till this is just covered in honeysuckle with beautiful yellow flowers. This is very soon to bloom. This is the Bloomerang dark purple lilac from Proven Winners.
Right in front of this impending patch of Verbena bonariensis are 3 tottering by gently roses. They're, what do they call it? It's 5 petals only.
It's a single.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous and yellow, and I really love them. Weeping white spruce, my dream tree. I love it so much. It's very slow growing, but I just wanted that tall, vertical, architectural element here. Sprinter boxwoods, and a hedge of very fine wine shine something.
Midnight Wine Shine Weigela.
No, isn't it very fine?
Midnight Wine Shine. It's not very fine wine. It's Midnight Wine Shine.
It's wine and a Weigela. So it's a version of that. A trio of Let's Dance Skyview, which look kind of... they're going to have new growth from the base. They did push out some already, but it looks like the frost got it, which makes me think that the frost probably got the buds. But luckily, it reblooms very quickly on new growth. So that's good news for us who struggle with macrophyllus in our area. Our Caterina Fountain from Campania International, running low on water, so I should probably turn it off before it gets refilled so I don't burn out that pump, right? Against this wall back there is Lady of Shalott Roses. It's a short climber. Really excited to see how tall it gets. It should be above the wall this year and hopefully billowing over the ledge so we can enjoy it as we're sitting up there. An entire drift of maybe 20 Walker Lowe's catmint. A nice hedge of Invincible Sublime Hydrangea. I love this hydrangea so much. It's a smoothleaf hydrangea. It blooms a lime green bloom and it stays lime green. It's incredible. Highly recommend it. Christopher, what is this beautiful daffodil you planted in front?
This is unsurpassable. It's called that, I think, because it truly is. It is, at first I thought it was Dutch Master, but it's somehow hot, like yellower than Dutch Master. Maybe it's more, it's so
gorgeous.
Bright. I would absolutely invest in more unsurpassable everywhere.
And the only thing that could make it better is if we had fresh mulch covering that new edge right there.
Yeah.
But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to look at the beautiful flowers and our Weeping Ruby Falls red bud, which is a dark foliage red bud, which is starting to put out its flowers. And they are looking great. Boom Chocolata geraniums. One got nibbled by a deer, so I relocated the wireless deer fence here. And I was thinking that can't be the only thing the deer nibbled. The deer couldn't have come through this entire garden and only chosen to nibble a few leaves off of the Boom Chocolata. And then I looked at the hoof prints and I looked over here and I saw all of our buds from our pagoda dogwood on the bottom shelf, bottom layer,
tier,
gone. So that's what it
They didn't go
ate.
for the top, so I'm okay with that. I'm sad. The pagoda, that was my dream tree when we first moved.
And it didn't go for the hostas or anything else. It went for the pagoda blooms. So I put this here, and I've spread deer scram today. So hopefully that does the job. It also nibbled a little bit on the rhododendron here. This is the Ugh, I'm really failing in today's video.
Dandy Man color wheel.
Guys, I am so sorry. We have to do more garden tours. Last time we did it, it was covered in snow, and the time before that, it was covered in snow and Danny Man color wheel. Gatsby pink oak leaf hydrangea back there. Lady's mantle down here. A nice little peony. There's some Virginia down here, and this is a columnar Hetzi juniper. A lot of people wonder what this really pretty juniper is. It's a columnar Hetzi juniper. And I will finish off here underneath our Gothic arch from, again, Gardener Supply with Generous Gardener Rose doing spectacular on each side. And then also planted with the Generous Gardener Rose is Betty Corning Clematis coming back super strong. This arch is going to be epic this season.
It's going to be really, really pretty. Some more daffodils in through here. These little mini white ones. Oh, I want to call them Corona. I want to call them something.
I don't want to call anything Corona.
But they're really, really, really pretty. Roald Dahl that Eric relocated is doing okay. There's going to be quite a bit of transition and change in this area. We think that we actually had some underground critters that completely devoured the Mill on the Floss rose's roots. So that had to go. Gertrude Jekyll smells amazing, but is the angriest thorn rose I've ever encountered. Right above you is the traditional Eastern redbud. This is the native. It's wonderful. It's whimsical. It blooms on the bark, on the actual trunk. It's so pretty. And of course, every year you have to taste one because I believe they're part of the legume family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, like you actually recognize the flavor. Back here is a drift of Seaside Serenade hydrangeas. Not seeing growth on them just yet. Fingers crossed. Oh, look, there's a Sensation Peony. I actually know the name of that one. Our largest meadow rue of the lavender mist variety.
The original?
Here, the original. It's great. I think this is going to be really, really strong this year. Here is Mary Rose from David Austin, and there's some Serendipity Allium. This is a lovely drift of a salvia that I divided, and it's one of the first things we ever bought for the garden. I had not divided it once until just this past fall, and it's coming back really well.
It's a really pretty light icy blue.
Yeah, something meadow sage.
Mm-hmm.
Something. We'll one day we'll remember the name of it. We also have James L. Austin, David Austin Rose. This had a hard winter. Really, really hard winter. I'm interested to see how it does again this year. Gold Cone Juniper putting on its gold. It'll put lots of growth on this year. I could prune this into more of a cone shape, but I kind of want it to just...
Oh, I love the shape of it. It's so cute.
It's really fun. This is a Wine and Roses Weigela, one of the original plants that we bought when we were learning about gardening. This has been transplanted no less than 5 times. And now that it's in its forever home, may it grow and grow and grow and be super successful. This is Festiva Maxima peony that actually gets a big official trellis because this plant support will be supporting a big beefy peony that's been here for a while. Then we start with the hydrangeas on this side of the house, Quickfire, Pinky Winky Quickfire. Behind that is my nursery of meadow rue seedlings, and they're getting big enough that they need to find their forever homes.
And some grass. We got to get rid of that.
And some grass we need to get rid of. Fall in Love Sweetly Anemone is coming back nicely. This is some Autumn Joy Sedum doing well. The Tromner Spruce, of course, looking perfect because it's the best tree ever. It is going to be putting on mega growth in the next couple months.
It did take a while to get established.
But once it did, boom, like a rocket ship. You'll notice there's some roses here. We'll talk about them, you know, another time. This is the perfectly level, good job, Eric, platform where we're going to be putting a 30-inch wide Jensen urn from Campania International, and that will be going on an 18-inch pillar? Podium? Pedestal. That's the correct word. Just this beautiful full shape. We have quite a few things coming. There's some options. We need to see what the depth of the actual urn is. If it's too shallow, we'll probably do more annuals. If it's a little bit deeper, we could do trailing hydrangeas.
Yeah, we got to also think about water too.
Yes. I mean, we can run drip up through it, but then again, we also now have this very flat surface, so we might have to grind out a place to put drip.
Yeah, because I know the pedestal alone weighs over 300 pounds.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is just going to be the two of us, and, you know, we're probably not going to film placing them. The
Could you imagine?
The noises alone.
The
We have
swear words.
Nosferatu daylilies in here, some alliums that are doing all right. Here are our cuttings of the hydrangeas that we took from last season. As Eric said, when we were pruning, we found some had rooted in. I brought them in the basement for the last couple months. They have been rooting in and they did beautifully. So this will continue along a drift of firelight tidbit hydrangeas. And so what a great way to expand the drift that we have in our own garden. Obviously, we're not going to be trying to sell any of these, but it's a great little way to bolster your own
They were
supply.
self-rooted. If we didn't do this, they would. I mean, it would have been terrible.
It would have. They were self-rooted.
Yeah, they wanted this.
Exactly. They wanted this.
We listened to our plant.
We like to do a little bit of repetition in this bed, so you'll notice there's some more serendipity allium. Here's a nice stand of autumn joy sedum. I'd love to see some of that sedum over here in the new area. The biggest grass on the whole property is the north wind.
It is gorgeous.
Huge.
It is stunning.
Gorgeous. And it has to be divided next year. It has started to get the little hole in the center. I am dreading that completely. It's like a rock to try and get this thing out. So that's going to be interesting. In this area, you'll notice a little grassy clump texture happening. That is Camassia. I planted them from bulb or corm last year, 2 years ago. And they're coming up. They're getting bigger each year.
Yeah, I think it might have been the year before last.
Yeah, and then there also some lawn grass mixing in here with some of these other little...
How does it get in there?
I don't know how it got in here in this case. I mean, other than we don't let it go to seed. Right here is some Blue Fortune Agastaki. And over here are the makings of more, because we did some division, Crazy Fortune Agastaki, which actually has a bit of a purple and variegation in the leaf, which is really, really fun to see. This is a dead sting arborvitae. Our fault, 100%. It's going to be replaced by a sting arborvitae. We really want one here. This one just, we didn't take care of it.
We transplanted it and then forgot to water it.
Yes.
And then the deer ate it.
Lemony lace arborvitae, lemony lace elderberry, looking amazing. This got a big prune back this year. We really wanted to get a nice dense shape. And I think we accomplished that. As this grows, it's going to be fantastic. Magic Show Pink
Potion.
Pink Potion. Lots of divisions of
just
that.
like before.
Yeah, just like the one over there, but that was not it. Crown Princess Margareta, which we believe also may have... Oh, I see lots of seedlings, but this is milkweed. This might have had some underground friends as well. Over here is the Litchfield Angel that also may have had some underground friends. Lots of serendipity allium in front. I just transplanted a little blue stem grass called Twilight Zone. Fingers crossed it does well here. I think it would be a lovely addition to this spot. There are 5 Decadence Pink Lemonade. Yes. Decadence Deluxe Pink Lemonade. That's what I was looking for. Baptisia. Big, beautiful plants. This is Jim Dandy, which is the pollinator for the winter red winterberry over yonder. This is the Dwarf King Birch. Doesn't get as big as most birch trees. More of a giant shrub kind of effect. The little toilet brush back there may or may not be alive. That's a Bosnian pine. There is some Venusta also mixed in here, which is that Queen of the Prairie. Very tall, very beautiful, very much getting eaten alive by bee balm right now. There is, and I don't understand why it keeps living, peony. I think it's Sarah Bernhardt. It blooms. It gets
We should definitely move it.
We should. It gets swallowed by everything. This is a pinky winky hydrangea. It gets completely swallowed, but it keeps coming back every year. So, I mean, we got to keep it. This is a Henry's Garnet Sweet Shrub. Over there, finally blooming, is a flowering almond bush. I really love the flowers on that. Like a really true fluffy double pink this time of year. Can't beat it. Backlight luminary phlox. Looks fantastic this year. This is a groundhog fan, or the groundhog is a big fan of this. So sometimes we don't see it, but if it's going to go for it, let's go for it. We have a Garnetta, or Invincibelle Garnetta hydrangea. Also going along here is Invincibelle Mini Mauvette hydrangeas. We burned them up pretty high because this is kind of a low point in the garden. And this will give us a beautiful mauve flower head. And then looking up here, we have the bald cypress that we've clearly taken this up a few times. I don't know if we'll have to go any higher than this, but beautiful, beautiful tree with a white spruce behind it. And way up in the distance is a bridal wreath spirea.
All right, I'm going to attempt it without the umbrella. I don't mind a little spritz. Right behind me is my absolute favorite spring blooming shrub in our garden. It is a double take orange quince. It has just started blooming. It goes from toe to tip with these flowers everywhere. This color is outrageous. It's like a corally, beautiful orange. I'm in love with it. It's just starting. Wait until you see it completely covered in flowers. Sea spray juniper in front of this beautiful river birch. This is a rose of Sharon, which is funny because it's held onto its seed heads, but no seeds inside. But our other roses of Sharon have not done that.
Yeah,
the pillar ones
hasn't before either. That's funny.
Yeah, these are all green giant arborvitaes, kind of just helping the transition into the nature behind us. We kind of staggered them and kind of mixed them with other things because we didn't want it to be a rigid, everything the same kind of look. We wanted something natural on the berm. Underneath here are more camasias. Or no, these are Spanish bluebells, right?
Yes, they are.
A limelight prime hydrangea, another panicle. These were divided. These were divisions we took from over there. These are the serendipity allium. And we have this new spot back here to put something kind of tall and fun, so that'll be great. This is a very strong grass. Another miscanthus.
Morning light.
Morning light mist. Oh, it is the morning light miscanthus.
It is the morning light
right.
there.
Boxwoods. This is a great hedge of more spirea. I know this is candy corn spirea, and I know the rabbit eats it because I've seen the rabbit eating it. It doesn't eat the big one. It only eats these. But look at the new growth color.
Super bright.
Really cool. Do you remember this one?
This is Double Play Big Bang. Big Bang.
Double Play Big Bang. This mugo pine has sunk. We need to elevate it out.
Yeah,
because it's drowning.
It's drowning, but it's still candling right now. So
also, right next to you is starting to swell Princeton Century Ginkgo.
Love this tree.
Really cool tree. Right here is a red obelisk beech, which holds onto its leaves until the new leaves come. So that's a little
messy.
Totally worth it. Opening day viburnum. Last year we lost the flowers due to a late frost. We're not letting that happen this year. You can see they're all here. It is gorgeous. I love the structure of this shrub. I love the flowers on it. I'm really stoked to see it bloom this year.
I actually like that the buds look like broccoli right now.
I know. Another rose of Sharon back there. I think that's blue chiffon.
Yes.
This is a Sonic Bloom Pink Weigela, and in front of it is a hedge of little lime hydrangeas. We have growth, no growth, and growth.
Uh-oh.
So it's odd that maybe this one didn't make it, and it's the center one. But it might work out for the best because this Sonic Bloom could very well fill that spot in.
It could, and this is one of those shrubs where I'm advocating strongly for its staying.
Yes, although now I'm like, I want to check it and see. You know what else we have to be careful of? We had a milkweed back here.
Oh, we do? Yes, there's a lot.
And there's a lot of seedlings. It's alive.
It is alive, good. I also would say that is the lowest of those hydrangeas, so if it did not survive, it might be drowning.
Yeah. Black lace elderberry does terrible for us. I don't know why. I think it hates our garden, but This is probably the best it's looked.
It really does.
It's got one more year
It's
as
got-
far as
this
I'm
is it.
concerned. This is it. Look at the storm cloud Amsonia. I mean, what a gorgeous color.
Looking amazing.
It's like this olivey green with blue emerging off of these dark stems. Such a fascinating perennial. Oh, look at your iris.
That's the blue flag iris.
Yeah, that's looking really cool. You can see I put another wireless deer fence here because I had seen some deer hoof prints. Oh, this clematis is jolly good.
Jolly good.
Look at me.
You're doing great.
I know. Tough Stuff hydrangeas, Pinky Winky hydrangea. We have our dry creek bed, which was recently installed. Underneath this quadrupleness, I want it, not quartet of river birches. Our Husker's red penstemon. There's some primrose coming up, which I really love. More iris, backed by a nameless, brandless spirea. Our black pussy willow needs to be tended to a little bit. You know that we pollarded it. So this is when you really have to get on it.
Yep, you have to make sure you get that growth out from the base. Make sure you don't have growth coming out of parts of the stems you don't want.
A giant, gorgeous hedge of roses, and something super special is going right here.
Back to the front of the house, you can see that we've had this bed shaped out a little bit. It's a little more of a kidney bean. It used to be kind of a snowman. And I think the kidney bean is going to serve us well. These catmint, the Walker's Low, get really, really full and luscious. This is a heritage river birch, and I'm seeing growth everywhere on it. So, so, so pretty. And this is wee white hydrangea. Love these. The grassy texture, this is a combination of purple sensation allium and then the really skinny leaves. That is the
drumstick
allium. And I'm not going to attempt the scientific name on that one, but these will fill out beautifully. Beautiful white tufts throughout the season. Come on up to the front to the other wee whites that we've had 2 years longer than those. Right here on the corner of the house. We did take this edge out quite a bit in front because we are going to be adding in that ageratum that we love so much, and we're going to be able to take it all the way across. It's going to look so cool.
All of that foliage, old crocus foliage.
Old crocus.
One of the reasons I don't like the crocus.
But it's not going to be there very long. I'm going to cut this before compost.
Oh, thank goodness.
That is my plan this year. Look at this. I do, cut hair for a living. I don't cut shrubs for a living, but I'm kind of proud of this one.
It looks great.
I like this shape. This one looks really good. Here is the single tulip of the year. It might be named after Andre Rieu, the Austrian violin guy.
Perhaps.
I don't know. It was a funny name. This is a beautiful, beautiful stand of
blue kazoo.
Double play blue kazoo spirea. Almost an iridescent quality to the leaves. They change throughout the season. Beautiful white flowers will pop up on there. And I will say, these get bigger than the tag says. These definitely, they express themselves. They get quite wide. They're going to be a perfect addition to the front because we have Invincibel Spirit 2 hydrangeas growing like gangbusters right behind them. And behind that, you'll see Ambassador and Gladiator alliums and the newly clipped boxwood. Some of them I definitely need to go in and refine some edges on my curves. And this here is the tidbit, the Firelight tidbit hydrangea that we have in the back. These three here are the ones that had sent out those little cuttings that we originally had. Jumping down here, this bed has gotten quite the makeover. It got quite a bit longer as we're building this kind of green wall between us and the neighboring properties. This is another of the double play blue kazoo. This is a perfect example of panicle hydrangea pruning. This is the vanilla strawberry. The shape is perfect. The strength is perfect. It will do really well. And we did bring this out so we can do a bit more annual action down here. In the center is a pampas grass, which
Mhm.
originally said dwarf pampas grass. That is not true. I think it was 12 feet tall this past year. Here is an Olympia clematis, nice and protected. That was a Trader Joe's find. Love that. This is another of the spilled wine Weigela. Here is a firelight tidbit that up until this moment, seeing all the green, I did not believe it survived its transplant. Thin Man Arborvitae, love this, nice and skinny, grows really, really, really tall. This is the new home of a Pinky Winky Prime hydrangea, which we will let get to its full gigantic glory size. Spring Grove Arborvitae. Over here is the mirror image of the green wall that we have on the other side. And that leads us to the corner of the house here, which is one of my favorite plantings in the entire garden. It starts out with the tricolor European beech that's been limbed up a little bit this year. We did take after it to try and encourage some nice branching. Below that is Vanessa Bell, a David Austin shrub rose. Beautiful fragrance, beautiful color, very floriferous for us. The foliage that you'll see in here is Allium Christophii. Maybe I have a particular reason for liking that one. And then this entire area, of course, is wrapped in the Walker's Low catmint. And you can see it starts and stops with the two box balls.
And that brings us to the east side to finish up my favorite area of the garden. We did install another Vigo hose up here. Seems to be doing very well. Oak leaf hydrangea. This is Gatsby pink. I have to tell you, when you're at the garden center this spring and they look kind of like scrawny and sticks and like not something you want to plant in your garden, give it a chance. It does great. It gets full morning sun all the way until like 1 o'clock, protected from the afternoon heat. It is spectacular. Underneath it are Roseanne geraniums. There is another Let's Dance Skyview hydrangea here in front of Jardin Tower, planted with Teasing Georgia climbing rose. Extremely fast growing, strong canes. I would say aggressive, but aggressive in the best way.
Yeah, love that.
Sprinter boxwoods, I recently transplanted. There's one little Delft blue geranium in the back, and I ripped it up into 3 pieces and planted it here to kind of have a little
bright pop.
Yeah, a little pop of Delft blue geraniums. A nice hedge of Checkmark Trilogy Weigela. When these are in full bloom and you're looking down the east side, and it's this dark pink, medium pink, and very pale pink combination on here, it is stunning. In front of it, though, I really want to plant a dark foliage plant of some kind, an annual or a perennial, but something with dark foliage, because it tends to be lots and lots of green happening here, which I don't mind.
We had a submission, a comment from a viewer. The dark side of the moon is Stilby.
I was thinking that too. Columnar Scotch pine. It's supposed to stay very narrow, and it's supposed to get tall. It was, the goal was to cover up some of this massive siding on our house. I think that we're going to definitely candle it this year, though.
Okay.
It's getting too wide for my taste. I want to be cautious about it. I don't want it to touch the house.
Yes, we don't want it to touch the house. We want it to be tall, not wide.
Yes. Lime Ricky, smoothleaf hydrangea. Beautiful. I think this is what Sublime replaced.
I think you're correct.
It does have those lime green flowers. It's just not as like sturdy and stout as Sublime. There's some spearmint coral bells here. A nice peony is in front of our Brandywine viburnum, which I think is going to give us a really nice show this year. Especially, we planted it here in front of this window so we could enjoy it from the inside. It has blue and red berries in the fall.
Yes.
Lido Day hydrangea actually has some growth near some of the tips. Astilbes are in there. This is our Hinoki cypress. We're just kind of letting it grow in whatever shape it wants to grow. To my left is our one of my favorite trees. It's our Royal Frost birch. We planted it perfectly so we could see it from inside the house all winter long.
It got big.
Our pollarded willow is starting to push growth, so this is the time of year if you chose to pollard your willow and you see the growth coming, you got to come in and scrape it off.
Yep. So I've seen people do sandpaper. I don't like that. I usually just use old gardening gloves and you just rub any of the little growth points that you see and it stops them.
Yep. Underneath that is our shade garden, our very small shade garden. In addition to the little one we have in back, we have our hellebores, our hostas, our brunnera, a limelight prime, which does very well in this area for not getting full sun. Very surprising, but it does do well. A Virginia down here. This is a Tiarella, right, Christopher?
Yes.
Is it Capture the Flag or Fun and Games?
I think it's Capture the Flag.
Some brunnera freshly coated with deer scram, coral bells, more meadow rue back here. This is more lavender mist. There is some pink Chablis lamium that reseeded itself.
It's so that little cool tone right back there. It really has spread in quite a few places.
Christopher, if you back up a moment, I'll take us through the hydrangea room, which I cannot tell you how excited I am to see how this comes together. We planted it last fall, if you can believe it. We haven't even seen it in bloom.
No, we've never seen these.
We've never seen it in flower, but everything is growing. There's leucogem on the edge there. 3 Invincible Ruby hydrangeas. So those stay a little smaller, so they're kind of in the front of the bed there. But the back row alternates Invincible Lime, Invincible Lace, Invincible Lime, Invincible Lace. Or not Invincible Lime, Invincible Sublime, because it is sublime. So those two alternate in the back. And believe it or not, they get 5 feet tall. And then maybe 4 to 5 feet tall are the Incredible hydrangeas. And it's Incredible White, Incredible Blush, Incredible White, Incredible Blush. When this is in bloom, I think I'm just
gonna move in.
I'm gonna move in here. We have a bench that we're putting on this stone rug right here. I am really excited for this hydrangea room.
And that's it. We are not underplanting them. They are going to just get
pure hydrangeas. Across from the hydrangea room are more Invincible Rubies. This is a cute little combination of pistachio coral bells and evening ball gown. It just brings that nice pop of chartreuse. Winecraft Gold Smoke Bush. Chablis Pink Lamium. Another sprinter. There's some delphiniums back there. Another meadow rue is happening. Is this black stockings?
That's black stockings.
That's black stockings. A peony. This is our Aphrodite sweet shrub, which we coppiced. It'll be enormous by the end of the season. It will fill this entire space. More peonies. Our Quickfire Standard hydrangea. Another drift of Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangeas. This to me is probably, if you're looking for a pink hydrangea, my number one recommendation for a smooth leaf pink hydrangea. It's gorgeous and full, and the blooms do not fade to bisque. They fade to a pale green. So you're not left with like beige flowers at the end. You still have like something that looks like it's alive even when it's faded. And again, this is our columnar hexijuniper. The hydrangea room over here transitions with this outstanding Kinsley Ghost honeysuckle. Peachberry Ice coral berries, which look great with this stump of a shrub right now. It's Winecraft Black Smoke Bush. We were told it's coming back.
I'm seeing growth on it.
All right, good. Mugo Pine. Right here with one tiny little bloom just starting is Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder. And it really does smell beautiful when the scent of deer scram is not in the air. To finish us off, flanking our arch, Bobo hydrangeas. And that takes us through the whole garden. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for joining us on our April garden tour. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.